I read souls for a living. And after working with thousands of people over the years, I've noticed something. There is a pattern in people who stay sick. And these are people who do everything right. They follow the protocols, the therapies, the supplements, the diets, but nothing changes. And why is that? It's not what you think. If you're new here, I'm Sarah. I'm a medical intuitive. I read energy, I read the body, I read the soul, and the patterns that keep people stuck in chronic illness or pain. And today, I want to share with you what I see, especially in people who struggle to heal. Not because their body is broken or not working properly, not because they're not trying hard enough, but because there are invisible patterns running beneath the surface that no amount of physical treatment can touch. If you've been stuck or if you've been doing everything and still feeling like that healing just isn't accessible or just feels so out of reach, then this video is definitely for you. Because once you see these patterns, you can finally shift them. And let's dive in. When I read somebody's energy, the first thing I look at is their vessel. Now, if you've never heard of me talk about a vessel before, here's what it is. Your vessel is your capacity to receive. It's made up of your body, your consciousness, your emotional patterns, and your soul corrections. It might sound complex a bit at first, but it's actually quite simple. So I'm going to give you a quick example just to anchor this idea in. So imagine a water bottle, an empty water bottle with the plastic cap on top screwed on. Now submerge this water bottle underneath water. You can do it in an ocean, a pool, just some body of water. What happens to that water bottle? Yeah, it caves in. The pressure constricts, it contracts. Exactly. So the same thing is happening to your body. So think of your vessel like a container, and that is your body, your consciousness, your emotional patterns, all that I mentioned above. Healing, which is from the light, or you can also call it the light force, is always trying to flow into you. But if your vessel is cracked, if the light or healing leaks, it comes right back out. So here's what I notice in people who struggle to heal. Their vessels are cracked, and sometimes by fear. They're terrified of the future. They're terrified of their illness getting worse. They're terrified of their pain getting worse. They're terrified that this is permanent. And that fear creates contraction in the nervous system. The body tightens, the vessel closes, and healing just can't land. Now, possibly their vessels are cracked by resentment towards their body. Maybe they're saying, I can't take this body or this body part. Maybe it's your knees. Maybe it's the anxiety dragging me down anymore. Resentment for the things that you can't do anymore because of your symptoms. That resentment creates inflammation, not just physically, but energetically. And inflammation is the body's way of saying, I'm not safe. I'm under attack. When your body believes it's under attack, it can't heal. So maybe their vessels are cracked by unworthiness. Now, this is a big one. I see it a lot. It's one of the most common. Deep down, they don't believe they deserve to be healed or deserve to have a good life. Remember, this is unconscious, it's not a conscious pattern. They don't believe that they're worthy of ease or rest or feeling good. So when the healing tries to enter, they reject it unconsciously. It's like standing in front of a door that is wide open, but you refuse to walk through because you don't believe you're allowed. It's very simple like that. So here's the pattern I see over and over. People are trying to heal their bodies while their vessels are cracked. No amounts of supplements, no change of diets, no amounts of treatments or protocols or health hacks or cold plunges can ever fix a cracked vessel. You have to repair the vessel first. And that's internal work. That's emotional work. That is soul work. Now, the second thing I see people who struggle to heal is this. They have an unintegrated soul correction. Now, soul correction is the emotional lessons your soul came here to master in this life. They are the patterns that keep repeating until you finally learn it. I've talked about soul corrections on different videos, but if you haven't heard about it, this is kind of what it is. But here's the thing, your body will keep reflecting that lesson until you learn it. And the most important thing to understand is your symptoms are not random. They're not random. They are spiritual codings. After working with thousands of souls one to one for a long time, I have tracked patterns and data and found the core soul corrections among all people. Now, there are approximately 30 to 40, okay? But I'm going to go through just a few right now. I've identified the top 13 specifically, but I'm going to go through just a few, maybe three right now, and I'm going to give you some examples of what this looks like. So, for example, one soul correction can be control. People who need control of everything, their environment, their healing, their outcomes, maybe other people. Now, this is where it gets interesting, okay? Now, I have seen nobody else talk about this. This is personal to my work and what I have discovered with all my clients. And I've worked with a lot of people, but there are physical symptoms that show up in your soul correction. So, control soul correction can manifest as they can develop digestive issues, they can develop migraines from it, IBS, muscle tightness, rigidity in the body and the mind, and joint issues. Why? Because their energy is rigid, their mind is gripping, and that rigidity shows up physically. The lesson their soul is trying to master: surrender, letting go, trusting that life can unfold and will without them managing every single detail. But until they learn that, their body keeps speaking through these symptoms. That's how your soul gets its attention, through symptoms. That's the language. There's no other way your soul can get your attention than through symptoms, pain, and even more emotions. All right, let's take a look at unworthiness as a soul correction. So, people who struggle with unworthiness, they often develop autoimmune conditions, chronic fatigue, even thyroid issues. Why? Because when that soul believes I'm not worthy, the body mirrors that. It attacks itself. It breaks itself down. It says, I can't deserve to exist peacefully. So the lesson behind that is learning to receive without earning, learning that their worth isn't tied to productivity or their usefulness. But until they integrate that, their body keeps manifesting the lessons, even the symptoms. Okay, so I'm going to touch on one more, and that's abandonment. People who fear abandonment, they hold on to relationships often past their expiration. They feel a deep sense of loneliness, even around people. They often develop gut issues, hormonal imbalances, or even back pain. Why? Because the nervous system of somebody with abandonment wounds never feels held, never truly feels safe, bracing for being left or just being left out. That's painful for them. The lesson is choosing themselves first, refusing to abandon themselves even when others do. And that's what your soul is screaming for. But until they do that inner work, the symptoms persist. So here's the truth, and here's what I want you to understand. Your body isn't failing you. It's trying to wake you up. It's delivering a message your soul needs you to hear. And until you hear it, really, really hear it and integrate it, your body will keep speaking louder and louder. It's its way of just turning up the volume through symptoms to get your attention. If your symptoms are getting worse, this might be the reason. And I help people every day decode what their body is really saying to them. So that's your soul basically refusing you to stay small, to stay hidden, to stay controlling, to abandon yourself, all of those. Your soul is just not going to accept it any longer. So, the third thing that I see in people who struggle to heal is their resistance to surrender. And I need to be really clear about what I mean by surrender because some people perceive that when they hear the word surrender, they think that I'm saying give up, but I'm not. Collapse is when you give up. When you say, I'm broken and there's nothing that I can do, when you abandon yourself to the pain, that's collapse. Collapse is powerlessness, it's victim consciousness. Surrender is very different. Surrender is when you stop fighting what is. When you say, I don't understand this yet, but I'm willing to be present with it. I'm willing to feel the pain, not run from it, not put a band aid on it, not pop a pill, not avoid. I'm willing to lean into this discomfort instead of all of what I just said. Surrender is active, it's conscious, it's choosing the work for your body instead of going against your body. And here's what I see in people who really struggle to heal is they're still fighting. They're fighting their symptoms, they're fighting their body, they're fighting the lessons, they're fighting the protocols and the diets and all of that. All that fighting, it keeps them in a state of contraction. The nervous system stays activated and the vessel stays closed. Healing can't enter a clenched system. It could only enter a system that has been softened, that has opened, that has said, okay, I'm listening now. What are you trying to teach me here? The moment somebody stops fighting and starts surrendering, that's when I see the shift happen in them. Now, not because the symptoms disappear overnight, but because the suffering around the symptoms dissolve. Their nervous system settles, their vessel opens, and then healing can finally land. And I have seen this so many times. It can actually be that simple. I would say it is simple, maybe not easy for everybody. The difference between somebody who stays stuck and somebody who transforms is exactly this. So, what do I mean? What does this mean for you? So, if you're still watching this and you've recognized some of these patterns in yourself, maybe you see that you're you have a vessel that is cracked. Maybe you have a soul correction that stood out. Maybe you have resistance to surrender. I want you to know something. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just operating with a pattern that is keeping you stuck. And the beautiful thing is about patterns, they can shift instantly. Your vessel can be repaired and rebuilt. Your soul correction can be integrated. Your resistance can soften into surrender. But most people can't do it alone. They just don't know how. And it doesn't work just by thinking about it. They need tools, they need guidance, they need support, and they need a system. So, I have been pouring my heart and soul into a brand new masterclass that's unlike anything I've ever shared before. It's designed to show you exactly why your body keeps breaking down, the hidden reasons behind chronic illness or pain, and how to unlock the deepest healings that you have potential for. This masterclass is called Heal Within, the hidden reasons your body keeps breaking down, and how to unlock the healing behind your illness. This masterclass has nothing to do with supplements, protocols, or diet changes. None of those. It's one of the most, I think, transformative teachings that I've ever offered. And this masterclass goes really deep into the full framework of the vessel, what exactly cracks it, and especially how to rebuild it. Because that is exactly how you receive the healing. I go in depth into the 13 core soul corrections on how to identify which one is yours and what to do with it. I teach powerful tools on how to accelerate your healing and integrate that into your soul essence. None of this is theory. This is all an exact system that I have used, I have tested, I've used it on myself that no doctor could figure out. And here I am today thriving. It's a system that I have used with thousands of clients to help them finally break through when no other healing modality worked. It has not been released yet. This is the first time I get to talk about it, but I'm opening early access for those who really feel the pull for this. You'll gain first access the moment it goes live, along with a special founder's price of only $27. And once it's officially launched, it will be $297. But I wanted my most devoted community first to experience this. You can reserve your seat through this link below, just right in the description below. Because if you've been stuck and you've been doing everything, all the right things, everything you've been told, but nothing is changing, then this masterclass will show you exactly why. And more importantly, it will show you how to shift it. So I want to leave you with this, that your symptoms, they're not proof of your body failing. First and foremost, I need you to hear that because so much fear evolves around that idea. It's proof that your soul is asking you to evolve and up level. And the pain you're feeling right now, it's not punishment. Pressure to expand. It's pressure to become who you were always meant to be here. But you don't have to figure this out alone. I've been where you're standing. I've walked the path and I'm living a life of absolute thriving. And I want to show you the way. So if this video resonated with you, please like and subscribe to this channel. I share deep soul and healing content every week. It's all designed to help you finally unlock the healing within your body that you've simply been asking for. And please drop a comment below and let me know, which patterns did you recognize in yourself? Was it the cracked vessel? Was it soul correction? Or resistance to surrender, maybe? I read all the comments and I love to hear from you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the masterclass.